Here we are. We'll of course record this for people who are still going to join us and not being able to with this change. My name is Manish. I'm the engagement director for HSO here in Australia and New Zealand, which means that I work with customers to look at their vision and make sure that vision gets delivered using Microsoft Dynamics as the platform to continue their productivity and efficiency. I've got my colleagues, Michelle and Kasun. Kasun, do you want to introduce yourself, Kasun?
Yeah. Hi, everyone. I'm Kasun. I'm a business applications MVP and also working as a solution architect at HSO. And yeah, so really excited to meet you in the webinar and looking forward to it. Yeah.
Excellent.
And hi, I'm Michelle. I'm the enterprise architect that will be taking you through the presentation today.
Excellent.
Looking forward to it. Thank you. And I see
We've
we have
got a
people
full packed
join us.
agenda.
Yes.
So if I can get Michelle to take you through the agenda. The agenda is full packed. We will try and get to it as quickly as possible. The focus here today, of course, are the number of challenges the distribution manufacturing businesses are facing all around the whole supply chain, and of course, how do we make sure we are doing our manufacturing operations as best as we can using the latest in technology, whether it's the artificial intelligence being the key these days, or look at some of your traditional planning processes and how do we improve that. So both Kasun and Michelle are going to take you through some of that concepts and details. Please feel free to put in your questions in the chat and we'll address as we go along. Let's rock and roll. Michelle? So just very quickly is HSO, we are a global Microsoft partner. We've been working with businesses globally and in Australia and New Zealand to help them transform the business using Microsoft as a technology. We're global, 3,000 employees roughly, and about 410 million euros for a business for about 28 years in the making. Being a Microsoft partner and global, as mentioned, we're based out of Netherlands as a global company, but we are spread in each and every large markets, including Australia and New Zealand, where we are in Auckland, Wellington, Christchurch, in New Zealand, and in Australia, Sydney, Melbourne, and Brisbane. So we bring the depth of experience across the Microsoft platform. Of course, our focus is around business applications, which is all around Microsoft ERP and CRM from an old world, if people are familiar with, across two major industries, professional services and manufacturing distribution. They are the two industries which we focus and we bring deep expertise all around the data and AI and Microsoft as a platform to get you the best out of the productivity and efficiency for all your employees. Talking about Microsoft, Microsoft, we all live and work on a daily basis. My view with Microsoft is that it's more than an ERP. And yes, we are going to talk deeply into the distribution manufacturing industry verticals today. But when you think about Microsoft, the tools we interact with, whether it's Excel, Word, or Outlook, it's bringing all the data together in a seamless manner so we can make the right information available at our fingertips. And that's the key to Microsoft and Microsoft strategy, which not a single other vendor can provide when we talk about the manufacturing. And you'll see some of that in action when we talk about data and AI with the team. So with that, I will hand it over to Michelle to take us through in more depth of some of the concepts and how Microsoft can help drive all the distribution manufacturing businesses in Australia and New Zealand. Michelle?
Thank you, Manish. So thanks, and again, apologies for the the break that we had because there was just a little bit of technology issues. But welcome and thank you for joining us this morning. And I think what we want to cover off is the Microsoft for cloud, whether it be manufacturing, supply chain, or whatever it is. So we're going to go through today, and I'm going to talk to you about how Microsoft and HSO can enable your business to be more effective. So starting with the diagram that you can see over here, Microsoft basically has 5 pillars or 5 key areas that they cover. They start off with the Agile Factory of the Future. This is where operationally visibly improve visibility across your connected factory assets. And then we go to the supply chain resiliency, where we have planning, optimization, supply chain visibility. And then we get to the engaging customers in new ways. And this is subdivided into planning and optimization and supply chain visibility. The next we go to the 4th pillar, which is the digital innovation. And this includes digital twins, not only of assets and digital representations, but also supply chain digital twins. And lastly, we have the workforce transformation. This covers your health and safety, learning and knowledge management, and connected and frontline workers. So this is underpinning the Microsoft architecture. And we're going to go into a little bit more depth. We're going to show you where, as HSO, what we have added and contributed to this. So what we've done is we've taken a look at the entire supply chain from manufacturing perspective, from inbound. So it's not only manufacturing, we can talk about supply chain, but this is starting the journey from an inbound right the way through to the manufacturing execution, through to outbound logistics. So from the materials coming in from suppliers, all the way through to the production of the items, and then all the way through to the fulfillment of them and delivery, and then of course the servicing aspects as well. So we take into consideration the whole value chain. And underpinning that, we have the Microsoft core platforms. So what we're going to do is we've gone and we've added some IP on top of the standard Microsoft stuff, and what we're going to look at is what we call the foundational solutions. So this is where we assess the customer needs, and we start looking at the first aspect regarding of what system, regardless of what system you're using. So this can be used whether you're using any other form of system. What we do is we go and we have a look at you first from a enterprise data and AI side, and what is it going to be able to help you from this standpoint. And this is this is what we call the Microsoft Fabric, and you're going to hear us talk about that a little bit more. And then there's a whole set of offerings to help the customer, actually you as a customer, help yourself set up your strategy for data and AI and actually get to the data set and get it right. So this is using the Microsoft Azure infrastructure and security standpoint. It is important in this day and age to make sure that the data is secure and is governed correctly at all times. And this uses the Microsoft Azure platform. Then, of course, underpinning all of that, we have got the finance side. So as HSO, we only concentrate on Microsoft, and then we have Dynamics 365 finance, supply chain, manufacturing. And of course, what does that mean? When you look at the finance side, we lead with it. And this goes to our solution. This is our core, and we have multiple solutions in there as well. So one of our offerings that we have is a multi-entity financial consolidator. We have some other solutions as well that we can also offer within that framework. Then we start building the next layer, which is known as the core. When we start doing our core, what we start doing is we start looking at the end-to-end, and we start looking at what we are going to be using this for. So when you're looking at how we're going to do it, the main chain optimization is inventory management process. And we have demand planning for this, and I will be discussing DDMRP later, as well as the advanced warehousing capabilities. We then have SRM, which is our supplier resource management. And what we do here is that we use this for supply chain optimization, for inventory processes, and we go through and we have a look at how we can do that. Then we have from a customer engagement side, we have marketing and sales, advanced field service, and IP as well. So this is where we now start engaging with customers. And then we have our innovation. So what we have here is when we do innovation, what we're saying is we can now go and we can have a look at what your digital supply chain twins are, and we can help you with that. Then right at the top of the thing, we have the top line. And this is where we do your sustainability, health checks and solutions, and we can help you with that as well. And underpinning that is Microsoft Power Platform. From a reporting side, everything is all important. And it's important to note that at this point in time, we have the Microsoft Power Platform that can do all your reporting, and we can help you with that as well. So we can have tax, and we've got quite a large footprint in this area. So with all of that, what we do is within Microsoft, we have the AI in manufacturing. So this is obviously to help you improve your times and help you with inventory management. And I think one of the core things is that with AI, artificial intelligence and machine learning, together, you can help optimize inventory, as well as you can then use it to control and optimize your robotics and automation systems, increasing efficiencies and reducing your labor costs. And I think this is an important part. So with artificial intelligence, that we can use and make it effective, but bearing in mind that at the end of the day, it still needs human intervention as well. So one of our key success stories that we have that use a AI and IoT in their business is Stolt Tankers. So this was an interesting customer because when they started their journey with us, they were looking for the MVP of the product. They wanted to essentially start with determining the probability of failure of the main engine. But as we started working with them, they determined that they did not have enough data at that level. So they actually went down to the piston level. And that model was then able to help them immensely determining what the probability of failure was. The piston ring alone could have had multiple and quite consequential damages to the system. And also, what they found out, it would increase their fuel consumption. So this model really helped them, and it guided them through to being able to look at how they could then build more areas, as well as become the MVP from here on. So it helped them as a great starting point. And they're an existing customer and are really, really using the system very well. Then we have the Microsoft supply chain. So now within the Microsoft supply chain, you can see this ecosystem provides best-in-class solutions to build supply chain resilience, from real-time Teams collaboration through to industry-leading security. Microsoft provides the open, flexible, and collaborative supply chain platform. Again, you can see it starts with 4 pillars. So we reduce risk with better visibility. We gain agility to meet market demands. We can improve efficiencies and productivity using Microsoft 365, Power Apps, Teams, Dynamics supply chain management. So building across the platform, we can create sustainable and secure value chains using the Microsoft Cloud for sustainability, which you saw earlier in the other slides, as well as Microsoft security and the Dataverse that goes with it. So Microsoft offers a full end-to-end, whether you're in manufacturing, whether you're in supply chain, or whether you're in retail. It makes no difference. The system that Microsoft has as a platform will enable your company to be able to work more efficiently and more effectively. So why Microsoft D365 supply chain? Well, we need to modernize supply chains with enhanced visibility. One of the things you want to do is right now there's a lot of disruption out there. There's a lot going on in the world that's outside influencing that we cannot be accountable for. So what we have to do is we have to let everybody know in the chain what is happening. So with the help of Copilot and D365 supply chain, you can automate actions in the process using natural languages and AI capabilities. And this is something Carson's going to show you and talk to you a little later all about. So if, for example, you have a delay in an item that's being shipped and it's coming in later, and it's going to have a it's going to have an impact down the chain, we can have Copilot automatically send out emails to people to say to them that the things are going to be late and give you a new ETA. We then can help you set up the inventory and operations planning. So this is where we can involve material planning and we can improve them, and we can use Microsoft's supply chain management as well as if you're in a manufacturing side of it, we can use DDMRP and D365 supply chain to give you a formal multi-echelon planning and execution method. And I will explain DDMRP and the differences between DDMRP and MRP later on in this presentation. And then AI uses you can really gain real-time visibility, because that's something you want. You want to be able to see what you're doing, you want to know what your potential risks are, and you want to be able to follow it through and get the best result and optimize your inventory levels. So enable for all this to happen, we have your order fulfillment and warehousing processes as well. So if you need to increase your supply chain, there's disruptions that are happening, that the warehouse needs to be aware of, that the fulfillment managers need to be aware of, that systems that help maintain an efficient warehouse operations can improve your end-to-end with your customer, from your supplier all the way through. And at the end of the day, this will offer we have deep warehouse management expertise within HSO as well as in the product. So you can use robotic automation for material handling with built-in connectors to multiple providers, and this will help augment the warehouse staff. Using the AI capabilities like the warehouse material movement analysis for Power Automate, we can create processes that help warehouses and operation managers gain insights into the material flows in the warehouse, remove these inefficiencies, and improve the overall performance of the warehouse. So if we recap what we have done, we've gone through and we have shown from a manufacturing side how we can help improve, and using the power of AI and Copilot, this will then give your staff and your customers and your suppliers better visibility across the supply chain. I'm going to hand over to Carson next, who's going to take you through some of the modes that he has for production, and we will I'll then pick up after him and we will continue with the rest of the presentation. Over to you, Carson.
Thanks, Vishla. I hope you guys can see my screen.
No.
You able to see it?
Yep. Okay.
Okay, cool. All right. So hi everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening from wherever you are joining today, and happy to have you with us in the webinar joining. And are we going to do a brief introduction and do a quick demo on production and some related features, and then we'll discuss on Copilot features, which we can use with the Dynamics 365 supply chain management. Also to talk about Power Platform and how you can extend your F&O solutions using the low code as well. And finally, I'll discuss more on the data and AI and some of the AI use cases with Copilot as well for distribution and manufacturing companies, right? So let's get started with so the production mode. So there are different production modes supported in the Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. So first we have discrete, process, lean, and project-based. So these are the four types that we have in terms of the production modes. So let us look at the discrete. So discrete is basically creating a specific item that you can easily see, count, or touch. And as you know that the bills of materials are used in discrete manufacturing, and good example would be furniture, and apparel would be a great example for discrete manufacturing. And then if you look at process manufacturing, so process manufacturing moves in scenarios where formulas are used, also co-products and byproducts play an essential role as well in the process manufacturing. And chemical, plastic, and food industry would be really good examples for the process manufacturing. So then we'll look at lean manufacturing. So this is more about the methodology that you need to focus, and that will be actually focusing on maximizing the productivity and reducing the waste in production processes. And this initially started in the automotive industry. And if you look at like Boeing, for an example, they are also using the lean manufacturing as well. So that's about the lean. And then we'll move into the project-based. So the project-based manufacturing is, for an example, for the items or products in the custom and, if you have a custom products that you have to make, and then that's going to be project based as well. So and it takes generally, if the production takes more time or large number of steps involved, that would also potential candidate for a project based. So in terms of example wise, you have industry wise, you have equipment production and construction engineering as typical project based manufacturing examples. So with that, we will go into the production strategies. And in the production strategies, there are many production strategies that we can use, but these are some of the production strategies that you can use with Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations. And there are some companies may use multiple strategies, right? So multiple strategies can be used for with different items, right? And so if you look at the diagram, so you have the push and the pull. If you see the make to stock scenario, it is more of a push strategy than a pull strategy. And whereas if you look at the engineer to order, that would be more pull than the push, right? So let's look at the first one, make to stock. So the make to stock is a traditional manufacturing principle where products are produced for stock based on forecast or minimum stock. And typically it's calculated based on historical consumption, right? And then if we look at make to order, so scenario, so make to order scenario, we have the standard products, which is usually use this method. And expensive, if you have any expensive steps that add value for the value chain, then it'll be triggered by either a sales order or a transfer order. And it also helps to minimize the inventory on hand and possible to use for a long fulfillment lead time scenarios. So that's on the make to order. Then we have assemble to order, configure to order, and then engineer to order. So let's quickly wrap up all these three areas as well. So assemble to order is actually incorporating a little bit more pull as the components of finished goods are ready to be assembled at the time the customer order. And if an organization have a higher mix of items which may share some components, this will be quite useful. And then you have configure to order. This is used when you have standard scope in your product offering with specific customizations, and that is determined when the customer order, right? And it is not cost effective to have all combinations at on hand and wait until the customer order. So that's why the configure to order will be really handy, right? So engineer to order is the next one. So mostly this is actually a pull, if you can see from the diagram itself as well. And it's a less push. And this is used in scenarios where actual design is determined when the customer is ordering it. So used in highly custom solutions like building construction or custom made machinery kind of scenarios. And I will go into a demo, and that will be focusing on, as I mentioned earlier, on the discrete manufacturing, which we discussed earlier, and a make to order scenario. So let's quickly look at the demo. And so here you can see a sales order where have a standard speaker item attached to it, and then it'll be produced from the sales order itself. So you can create the production order itself. And also, if you want, you can also leverage on the master planning. But in this case, I'm demonstrating creating the production order from the sales order. As we mentioned in this scenario, basically, you can see that in production orders created, and I'm actually creating the operation scheduling here. So you can select the forward from today, and then do the scheduled operation part of it, and then we go to the production flow management. So this is a workspace which is helpful for the production supervisors, production managers, and then they can actually directly go into the production orders to release, and then check the material availability. So we'll discuss further on this feature. This is a handy feature that you can check on the availability. So as a supervisor or a production manager, you can check the availability. And here we are selecting that order and then releasing it to the production And then if you want, you can print out the job card as well. So you can see a printout of the job card coming up here. So that's how it looks like in the standard, the job card. And then we will go into the manufacturing execution. So the production flow execution here. So you load the screen, and then you type it in the badge of the ID of the production worker. And then you can see that the production order which we have discussed it's there already part of the job. So he can select that job and then start the job, and then enter the quantity, how much the quantity that he's going to start. So once started, you can see in the screen production flow execution. You can see that it's in the all jobs in a different symbol, that you can see a green symbol there, which highlights that you have started that. And then if you go to the active jobs, you can see that job which you have started already. And then you can go to the report progress, and then complete that job for speaker assembly part of the job. And then you mention the good quantity, and then report progress completed. So once you completed that, once you have completed the task, and then you can sign off. Basically, you can see that's not there now. It's been completed, and then you can leave from the production execution and then log out, and that's pretty much you're done with that task on that. So that's a quick demo on the key aspects, and then let's quickly look at the the areas that we have touched upon on that. So if you notice that you see a workspace there, so the production flow management workspace. And if we talk about the workspaces in Dynamics 365 Finance and Operations, it is not only for production, it's also for supply, all the other modules that have the out-of-the-box workspaces that you can utilize. And generally, this is designed for productivity and navigation. So to improve the productivity and your navigation within, and when you're, as an organization, once you go through, so you have key tasks and key stuff that you want to do as a role. So you can have specific user roles. Based on the user roles, you can define workspaces. You can do custom workspaces as well. So you can use the standard workspaces as well as the custom ones. And it includes, as you can see, like you have the ties, list, links, and jobs. And there are different information that helps to perform your job will be there in the workspaces. And this is specifically for the production flow management. So you can see that production flow management workspace, helps the supervisors and managers, as I mentioned through the demo. So if you go through this workspace, they can actually go to the production order to release. They can find out the materials available and then release it. So this is quite handy. They can, so the production workers, they can use this to access the relevant information and complete the task efficiently. And this can be customized based on what your needs. So basically, you can filter based on your production unit, resource group, or resources. And also within this workspace, you can create a production order or a batch order, right? So let's move into the next part of the key stuff that we did on the demo. So the production orders to release. So now you can check the material availability while scheduling your operations. So that's what I did. I did schedule the operations and then go into the production orders to release, and then check the availability of the raw materials. So if you can see that if the items are having in the on hand, then it's giving you an indication whether that's in on hand, or if it's not available, like there's no sufficient quantity available, then you can see that it's not available by the indications as well. So this is really handy feature which you can do use to do it using the schedule operations, and then you can check the material availability. If the materials are available, then if it's available, then you can select that production order and release it. So the next part of the key thing that we have gone through is actually production flow execution, right? So the production flow execution is where the shop floor worker, which comes in, the production worker, which comes in and register their daily work. They can also have start the jobs, which we saw that we started the job, and then also it captures the starting time, and then you can provide the feedback, indirect activities. You can have indirect activities also specify as well. And these informations are critical or the crucial for tracking progress, costs on the production orders, and calculating the workers' pay as well. So the interface automatically loads specific configurations and job filters, but you can modify the way you want to modify and filter for the jobs that you want to see, right? So that's about the production flow execution. And next up, we're going to talk about the confirm purchase orders with changes. That's a Copilot feature, which is available from the out of the box. So that's a Copilot feature which you can have in the system in the SCM Dynamics 365 SCM. So this is a new workspace, as I mentioned. So this is using the generative AI, artificial intelligence, or Gen AI, and it simplifies, summarize, the downstream effect. If you can see that if you have a confirm purchase order, but there are some changes, and you can see what are the ones which have the low impact changes and what are the ones which have the high impact changes, and if you have anything on the downstream impact as well. So you can focus on the high impact and the downstream orders impact, and whereas the low impact you can monitor, but you can see what you're going to do with that. But generally this will highlight all the key changes that happens to the purchase orders, right? So that is quite good. And then in terms of the Copilot feature is where you can see that send email and send Teams message. So you can basically select the send email, so it will actually summarize the information on which orders and what are the items that is gonna delay, and all those information can come up and summarize and give you a drafted email. And similar with the Teams message as well on the next button. So you can also have a drafted Teams message as well, and then you have a human in the loop, so you can actually edit the draft which is generated by the generative AI, and then you can send it back to the vendor, and then the vendor can help you with if you want to speedy get the goods faster, or do some communicate some information changes back to the vendor. You can communicate it back that, and for you when creating the draft email and draft Teams message, you can get the help from the Gen AI. And the best part is also Microsoft is also adhere to the Microsoft responsible AI principles as well. So you have all those principles has been adhered when it comes with the out of the box solutions from Microsoft. So that's also one of the handy things as well. And the next up is we have AI use cases in manufacturing and distribution. So we have AI in quality management, which is used to assess the goods quality during warehousing bound receipt. So you can scan the goods, detect damages, quarantines, and then create quality orders of inspection. And you can also trigger alerts, kind of a thing. And if a quality order is failed, a return order is created, or warehouse put away work order is created. So these are some of the use cases we can see. And so for you to get some understanding on the use cases, AI use cases, and the Copilot use cases, which I will do next slide. So in the next up is the AI in production. So you have the production can be used for scenarios such as automate the report as finished process, printing labels, and reporting stock to output or warehouse locations for manual production. And in terms of the warehouse management, AI in warehouse management, it can automate the put away process for finished goods from production or physical receipt. It scans production goods, identifies product quantity, and suggests best location within the warehouse, right? So these are some of the use cases we can think of in manufacturing and distribution. And let's look at some of the Copilot use cases in manufacturing. So production quality and maintenance. So we have D365 Copilot in production, which provides the daily, weekly, or monthly updates on production jobs, balances, original order quantity, completed and outstanding orders, and highlights delays in expected delivery dates. So we can see these kind of information on D365 Copilot in production. These are some of the use cases we are talking about here. So this could be, one of the use cases we can think of. And then the next stuff is the D365 Copilot in quality management. So this is another use case of it can offer the insights into open and failed quality orders, data analysis, and KPI reports for right first time analysis by item, department, day, week, month, or year. And the next up is the D365 Copilot in Maintenance Management. So this offers insights into manufacturing process, asset performance, display work orders, analyze time, and generates KPI reports. So these are some of the use cases we can see in the Copilot for related to the manufacturing. And next up, we have some additional solutions, IPs, which is a bit relevant onto the manufacturing side of it. So we have IPs from HSO. So there are rental management, graphical planning and scheduling, quality system management for regulated industries. So if you have anything related to these kind of industry requirements, so you can contact, please do reach to us and for more information if you're looking for anything similar kind of solution on this area as well. And the next up, I'll go into the Microsoft Power Platforms. The Power Platform, which is really key in these days because it's with the low-code tool set from Microsoft that you can, extend your Dynamics 365 finance and operations solutions easily. So that actually reduce the load of having a lot of X++ code, and instead of that you can move some of the solutions from the Microsoft Power Platform, which provides a lot of the tooling capability there to extend your solutions. So namely you have Power BI, Power Apps, Power Automate, and Copilot Studio. Copilot Studio, which comes with a lot of generative AI capabilities as well. So there's a lot of tons of things that you can do with the Copilot Studio as well. And then you have Microsoft Power BI, which would actually help you to provide powerful insights, visualizations, and integrations into with another applications. And also you have the Microsoft Fabric as well to transform data management. So this is another part of it as well. So the Microsoft Power Platform, which can help you to extend your Dynamics 365 solutions and get a better user experience as well. So some of them. And the next up, we have the HSO Data and Analytics Framework. So Data Analytics Frameworks, which is basically provides distribution and manufacturing organizations a comprehensive data and analytics framework. And this enables these companies to create detailed dashboards, key reports that support their business operations. We have many customers who have benefited from this, and namely, I can tell like Bossard and Hellman as examples, but there are other examples as well in the slide, and there are many more as well we have. So please do reach to us if you have anything on this space as well, which we can help you for the distribution and manufacturing companies as well for the data and analytics as well. So with that, I will be handing over to Michelle, and Michelle will be continuing with the DDMRP.
Hi. Thank you. Thank you, Carson. And I'm just going to share my screen again. Share my screen. All right. Can you all see my screen?
We see the presenting slide.
Yeah, it's just going back. Sorry, it's just swapped back. Perfect. Thank you. Thanks, Carson. So what we're going to cover off now very quickly is what is demand-driven material requirements planning. So, and what is the difference between the DD-MRP and MRP? So Microsoft allows for both of these types of resource MRPs to happen in this system. So what is it? So the purpose, the DD-MRP is a more recent methodology. It's been around about 10 years. Microsoft has now adopted it in the manufacturing solution, and it's standard out of the box. But what it does is it allows you, it's a formal multi-echelon planning and execution method used to control supply chain in businesses and enterprises. The key points about it is the purpose of it aims to protect and promote the flow of relevant information by strategically placing decoupling points of stock buffers. And you can see one of the big differences between the DDMRP is MRP, the old traditional, uses lead times. DDMRP uses buffer zones. These buffer zones are used to manage inventory, and these zones help in understanding when to reorder and how much to reorder, and to prioritize which items need to be ordered. DDMRP uses the Lean and Six Sigma principles to be more responsive to actual demand. Whereas with MRP, you're using the conventional method of inventory management and production planning. It uses historical data to forecast and determine the quality of materials required to meet the demand. So that's one of another key difference. DDMRP is a pull system, meaning products are produced or procured based on actual demand or consumption, not just on forecasts, whereas the push function is typically meaning products are produced based on anticipated demand rather than actual customer orders. And then the visual management. DDMRP offers visual management tools to highlight inventory statuses and priorities, whereas complex calculations are being used in MRP, and this often requires a lot of data to be put in, and people have to then try and forecast accurate planning. So DDMRP is a more robust way of doing things, but however, you can have, as I've said, you can use both MRP and DDMRP. Both of these approaches can be used within Dynamics for different items and for different things. So what does HSO bring to the party? So sorry, my slide deck's just not moving. The HSO approach is for, we have years of production planning and expertise to help you through this. We can assist customers planning teams and making safety stock versus decoupling buffers determinations, and train you on how to monitor and maintain the buffers for optimal throughput. But one of the things is we've been doing this, as I've said, for about 10 years as an organisation, and we have quite a few success stories, which I want to share with you as well. So one of them is North Sail. So North Sail is a worldwide leader in sail making. They operate, they make sails, whether it be some predetermined ones or some make to order, so special orders. They operate in about 18 countries and they have about 2,000 employees. What they did is they came to us about 10 years ago, so they've been a customer for about 10 years within our greater organization. And what they found is by implementing DDMRP, it actually reduced the inventory by 25%, and it gave them work in progress reduction of about 40%. It compressed their lead times internally and externally, and it improved on-time delivery in all the locations. And the CFO says it provided me complete visibility across our global operations, and that was critical to the DDMRP being implemented. Another great customer of ours is Eclosia Group and the Protea Chemicals. So one was an FMCG and the other a chemical. And what they found is they had enough by implementing DDMRP. They have again seen realized 23% inventory reduction, 30% on the other side, 99% on time, 45% reduction of planning and buying teams. So this allowed them to make decisions and also be far more efficient in their supply chain. So whether it be in the manufacturing side or just on the supply side, they were able to see costs being recognized over a period of time. And then last but not least, we wanted to, obviously, our experience in manufacturing. These are just a few of our customers that we have worldwide. We create more resilient supply chains, engage customers in new ways, help you transform your workplace, build more agile factories and production, and unlock innovation and deliver new services. And this is with the use and the help of using the Microsoft stack. So whether a lot of these companies are using D365, whether it be finance, supply chain, and warehousing, or a mix of just finance on its own, warehousing on its own, finance and supply chain. So the system can enable you to work in a more productive manner And then using Microsoft 365, Azure, and Power Platform gives you a total solution. Key takeaways, what we have hoped we have covered off today is you now understand D365 has the capability of finance and supply chain, and the Microsoft technology stack can help you with an end-to-end solution vision, whether it be for supply chain or whether it be for manufacturing, or even if it's just for finance. We have a solution and warehousing. We can help you across the broad, the bandwidth of that. And if you need to know more or would like more, we are going to give you these resources as well and send the slide deck to you so that you can use it for reference sites and referenceability after this. And this will also give you some of our RP that I have covered off on, like the graphical planning schedule, which we've got from a manufacturing side. And over to you, Manish. Thank you very much.
Thank you, Michelle and Kasun. And again, apologies. We are running a few minutes late because of the technical glitch we had this morning. I hope you found this useful. If there are any questions, happy to take some questions. We've got 5 minutes. I did had questions, 2 questions from people who couldn't join, and one of them was all around, can we implement just the WMS, the warehouse management system, or do we have to have the whole kit and caboodle from Microsoft? Michelle, that was one question I had via email. Kasun, if you've got any thoughts on that?
Yeah.
Michelle?
Okay, so to answer your question, yes. So from a warehousing side, you can have warehousing standalone. You don't need to have the whole finance and supply chain and everything else with it. You can actually buy a standalone version of the warehouse management solution. And then we can integrate that into either your ERP and into your supply chain best of breed that you're using. So we can do your warehousing component as a standalone offering, yes.
Excellent. The key topic these days is all about artificial intelligence and AI. And Kasun is a most valuable professional at Microsoft, and he just happens to be back from Seattle at Microsoft, meeting some of his fellow MVPs, and of course Charles Lamana, who's the Microsoft corporate VP of the Dynamic. So Kasun is all about AI, and AI, nothing in Microsoft world and around the world happens without AI. So if there are any questions around it, or happy to share a lot of things we're doing at HSO, bringing AI. Copilot, you've heard and you've seen some snippets of it. Microsoft has baked Copilot into a lot of areas, including purchase orders, as you saw. Kasun, what's top one, if I may put you on the spot and say, what did you find in your MVP summit from US?
Yeah, Manish, definitely there are a lot of Copilot features coming up. I mean, there are some restrictions for me on the NDA side of it. So with what's publicly available, I can tell that what I shared on that, and then there's the confirmed purchase orders, which I shared on the slides and the demo itself earlier, and then also the finance features which is coming as well. And then I can tell the which is already the preview of the finance. There is a finance preview feature, and then also the invoice capture, which is one of them which we have already implemented in NRL as well. So that is a key one. I think we are the first one to implement that in for the invoice capturing feature as well. And also I can talk about the Copilot Studio, which will have a lot of generative AI capabilities, which is in the preview as well, some of the capabilities. So the things are going to be exciting for the future. So yeah, looking forward to it, and we are doing really great on these areas. Like as mentioned on the NRL, we are the first one to do this implementation in ANZ. So happy to have a discussion with anyone who's looking for a certain. I mean, either it could be invoice capture or maybe something else on the AI related, which we are really happy to help you out that.
Thank you. Thank you, Kasun. There's watch the space, everyone. Microsoft has already released their plans moving forward. Wave one around field service, for example. So there's lots happening in the Copilot or the AI as we get baked into, whether it's dynamics or even day to day. I'm not sure if you've seen in the our use of Outlook and Teams. There's a lot of AI co-built into now in terms of drafting emails, suggestions, and so on and so forth. So watch the space, from a Microsoft standpoint, where they're bringing a lot of innovation. So, um, if there are any questions, let us know. Otherwise, thank you very much for your time and allocate it. And again, apologies for the technical glitch we had this morning. I hope you found this useful. We'll be in touch, or let us know if you need any help, and we'll send you the slides, the presentation later today. Thank you and have a good
Thank
day.
you, everyone. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye. Bye.
Thank you. Thanks, everyone.